Hey, I want to thank everybody for tuning in to a special edition Steel City Sports World. So much going on in the sports world today. Luther Dupree, I'm your host, also with Claudio Rosano, Smoke and Jim Frazier. Hey, great show. We have to send a shout out. Mike is down. Hopefully he'll call into the show. But Mike, get well. Hope you feel better. We're looking forward to having you here next Monday when we do another live show. A lot of things going on. Steel City News. Claudio, what do you have for us today?
Well, I hate to repeat past shows, but something came up about a month ago. Luther and I talk about all the time about the unwritten rules of baseball. And there was a pitcher, Colby Lewis, who I'd never heard of before. He got mad at he plays for Texas Rangers, at least he does this week. He was complaining about Colby Rasmus, a .213 hitter for the Toronto Blue Jays. They had the shift on against Rasmus, and Rasmus decided to bunt the ball to the left side. And Lewis hollered at him and said, "Don't disrespect the game. That's not how you play the game." So, again, you're not allowed to bunt with no hitter. You can't do this. You can't catch a fly ball if the sun's up. There's all these crazy unwritten rules. Then this Colby Lewis said another couple unwritten rules. Again, you shouldn't bunt against the shift. Okay, well, I have to read this because it's so stupid that I can't remember it. You shouldn't bunt against the shift with 2 outs if you're up by 2 runs in the 5th inning on. Okay, I don't know what sense that makes. Then the other one is, and if you get on base and you don't steal second base within the first 2 pitches of that player's at bat, then you're being selfish. Now, I don't know where these things come from. I mean, they're sucking the fun away from the game. And everybody says that they're protecting the game, the honor and respecting the game. You know what? It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with egos getting damaged.
There you go.
The teams don't want to lose by 10. The pitcher doesn't want to give up a home run. It has nothing to do with the game. The game's going to go on for another million years, whether that guy bunts against a shift or he does a Reggie pose after he hits a home run. It has nothing to do with that. And just like a few months ago when Cole got mad at the guy from the Milwaukee Brewers because he hit a triple and he posed a little bit and he said, swing the bat or run. It's all garbage. I've faced it myself when my teams play. Am I supposed to tell the team, hey, do you mind if I score a few more runs? Okay, one time, real quick, we were playing a team, we were down 10-0. And I was still stealing and hitting and running. And the other coach got mad because I guess I just didn't put my tail between my legs and pack it in. We ended up losing that game 14-10. Okay? The game is 7 innings. If we're going to call it after, if you're up by 5 and I can't run anymore or I can't do anything, then again, we should just shrink the game down to 4 or 5 innings, make every game a nail-biter, and if you do that, then the game to me is just getting worse. And I love the game. I'm blessed to work in it, but I'm getting sick and tired of these unwritten rules.
Hey, like you said, these unwritten rules are made to be broken.
There you go.
Now, one you didn't mention is talking to the other player before the game. Is that okay, or is that?
Bob Gibson one time, there was Gene Kleins, the former Pittsburgh Pirate, went up to him in 1971. He says, "Mr. Gibson," he says, "I have pictures of you all over my wall." He says, "You were my favorite player. You're an inspiration. You're one of the reasons why I'm here today." He says, "You mind if I sign the ball? If you sign the ball?" They said Bob Gibson got the ball and he threw the ball. He says, "I'm striking you out today." He said, "Get away from me." That was the end of that. So, I don't know if you want to go that far. I never really have a problem with them talking too much. But, again, I'm talking about on the field stuff. You can't do this. You can't bunt. You can't score. You can't steal a base. Everything. And if you hit a home run, you have to run around the bases like you're mad at the world. Like you're embarrassed because you hit a home run. Instead of being glad that you hit a home run or whatever the case is, you helped your team out. Those things are the ones I'm against. The fraternizing before the game, that doesn't bother me too much. To be quite honest with you, as long as when the game is on, you play your hardest, which I always seen that they did. I just don't like the crazy unwritten rules that are out there.
Okay. All right, we got Smoking Jim. But before we go, we got to put a disclaimer out there. The words you're about to hear, Smoking Jim's alone. They don't reflect my thinking, Claudio's, anybody else you're going to hear today.
They should have heard him before the show.
There you go. That being said, it's all yours, Smoking Jim.
Hey, thanks, Luther. And to get back to Claudio, share a Bob Gibson story. He was at a banquet, and they asked him, was he still competitive? And he says, yeah. He says, today I beat my granddaughter, who's 5 years old, in tic-tac-toe 100 straight games. So afterwards, they asked him, they said, "You was just joking about that." He says, "Yeah, I'm kidding. She's not 5. She's 8 years old." So that's Bob Gibson. But hey, I was trying to get Iron Mike Tyson to come here in the studio, but me, Luther, and Claudio going to be hooking up with Iron Mike either Thursday or Friday, so I'm looking forward to that. But hey, Lou, another day, another excuse for Tiger Woods. Here in Pittsburgh, we don't make excuses. I believe that if you want to be a lawyer, you can go to Yale or you can go to jail like Judge Mathis and still make it to the top. If you want to make movies, you can do it like Warner Brothers, or you can be homeless, sleeping in your car for 2 years like Tyler Perry and still make it to the top. Or you can be from little tiny Pittsburgh and be the owner of 6 Super Bowl championships, 5 World Series championships, 3 Stanley Cups, and 2 women's professional football Super Bowls like the Pittsburgh Passion. However, the problem with your Pittsburgh Steelers is they keep bringing in too many honor students. Yes, Your Honor. No, Your Honor. I won't do it again, Your Honor. LeGarrette Blount was kicked out of the University of Oregon. He's a U Honor student. Marquise Pouncey and his brother being sued by some people in Florida. Mike Adams lied to police about a crime on the South Side. Quarterback Ben Roethlisberger ought to sue his offensive line for lack of support. Listen, the offensive coordinator, Todd the Fraud Haley, refuses to pay any bills. That's a white-collar crime. If the Pittsburgh Steelers play like they did last year, the National Football League ought to sue them for misrepresenting a professional football team. Listen, the Pittsburgh Steelers don't want to be great. They just want to be 8-8.
Smoking Jim, still on that 8-8 bandwagon. They're going to win at least 10 games this year. Smoking Jim. A lot of things going on. A lot of things going on this year. In fact, a lot of elevator incidents this year. There's a right way to handle it and a wrong way. Ray Rice was the wrong way. You know, Stephen A. Smith talks a big game, and you know, he said some things and got himself suspended after, you know, he humbled himself on TV. What he should have said, keep your hands to yourself, especially a man and a female. You can never win in that situation. Just get out the way. If you're on an elevator and get hit, you got to do like Jay-Z. Can we run the clips? You got to take it and walk off like nothing happened. Getting hit, same thing. Just take it. Look, bam. Get hit, just take it. Keep going. Keep your hands out. This is the way to deal with it. You can't win in that situation. You might look bad. You might catch a couple licks, kicks to the face, come back, another kick to the groin. But, you know, you're not going to jail, no cases, no suspension. But he's a Raven. Ravens do that type of thing. You're talking about no, Your Honor, yes, Your Honor. You need to be talking about the Ravens, Smoking Jim. Look at the police blotter. It was more Ravens than the Steelers this year, wow. Smoking Jim.
That's a record.
Yeah, that's a record. We'll see. You're saying 8-8. I'm seeing some signs. I think I'm feeling good about this season coming up. You know, a couple 8-8s, but they could have easily been 10-6 last year. You think about the Miami game. You think about the Tennessee game where everything went wrong, and I still don't know how they lost that game. I think they're going to be okay. The schedule looks pretty favorable, and I'm excited about it. They're talking about speed. Dree Archer is wait till you see this guy run. I remember you said it about Antonio Brown. If you thought he was fast, wait till you see this Archer run. Smoking Jim. Nothing like Chris Rainey. I don't even know why you put those words out there, Smoking Jim. This is a real deal running back. He made more plays on the field than Chris Rainey in college. I think it's definitely a good thing. We're hoping to have a couple high school guys, you know, come on the show today. But since we're on the Steelers topic, we were able to get out to training camp and what?
I liked him.
Me too.
We do have some clips of some of the training camp before they play their first preseason game coming up. You know, here we go. Your boy Mike Adams. Well, it doesn't look like he's done too much of the weight room. He looks tired already.
Munchak looks good.
Yeah, Munchak is going to be a great advantage. I mean, you know, last year the line had some struggles as they've had in years past. Mike Adams, they're doing drills. Of course, he's off to the sideline watching. But I think they're going to be okay this year. Do you think he gets cut this year? That's a big question.
He's getting cut.
Wow. Second round pick.
Yeah, he's getting cut.
That would be another bad, wasted second round pick for the Steelers in the last couple years.
Kevin Colbert with him. They used to be
you're a good friend.
Deal. Yeah.
You're a good friend.
We're good friends off the field, but on the field, he's the worst GM in all of football.
All right. A whole lot of things.
What's the old saying? With friends like that, who needs enemies, right?
Smoking Jim will throw you under the bus. Don't let the bus be anywhere near because he's throwing you under.
I better keep winning and see you, or else he's going to say, Claudio's my boy.
But a lot of things going on. Like we said, we mentioned the coaching staff. We also have some more clips we want to run as well. Can we run the next set of clips that we have? We see, Big Ben here, throwing at the tight ends. The tight end, is that a position of need? I mean, right now you have Heath Miller. He should be back 100%, one of the best in the game. But then they love Matt Spaeth for some reason. I'm trying to figure that out. I guess that's like the third string quarterback where,
he's the most popular guy in town, the third string quarterback, yeah.
Well, Matt Spaeth was a guy, one of the few picks from Mike Tomlin. I believe it was his first draft here. He vouched for Spaeth because Tomlin was at the Minnesota Vikings at the same time. Spaeth was with the Minnesota Gophers, and so he vouched. I remember him vouching personally, and I told him, I'm like, you sure, Coach? He vouched personally for Spaeth. They cut him once, and they need to cut him again.
Yeah, I mean, but somehow they like him. But they also have Will Johnson, and I guess they're going to try to be fullback and / tight end. Think there's a position for him, guys, or what do you?
He can block.
He can block.
West Virginia, fullback from West Virginia. Yeah, he can
block. I think they should use him as a fullback as much as possible. I mean, to me, I always said the blocking. You know more about it than I do, but the front line on both defense and offense, to me, is the most important thing in a football team. If you have a front line, you can protect them on pass play and run play. But I would use him as a blocking.
Well, one thing I know he can't play. He can play a lot of backs. He can play a lot of different positions. This is a guy that lives in the weight room. Mm-hmm. He can play a lot of positions, but will never be able to play quarterback for the Steelers as long as Todd Haley's there, because he's never had a black quarterback in his history, going all the way back to Upper St. Clair, all the way through to Kansas City and to the Pittsburgh Steelers. That will never happen under the Todd Haley era.
Wow, you just took us way out left field. Hopefully nobody will have to play except Big Ben. That's what I'm hoping.
Well, it's hard. It's at least if you got quarterbacks, even quarterbacks nowadays that play like a black quarterback like Manziel. So you want to have somebody like that to imitate them in practice. But Todd Haley it's almost like a lot of your country clubs, which he was a golfer, no blacks allowed in here.
Oh, wow. All right, Smoking Jim Frazier. Again, number to call, 412-231-2288. Don't know how we got on that topic, but a segue, we have to talk about the Pirates. We have to talk about some baseball real quick, and we'll come back when we have our high school guys.
They're out of the running.
Well, you've been hating since the beginning of the season, Smoking Jim. Now you finally get your wish, but they have been playing well. Now Andrew McCutchen is down. Can we run some of his highlights? He's getting beamed by baseballs. Now he just ruptured, or I don't know what happened to his oblique muscles.
Well, now they're saying it's a rib cartilage.
It's a rib cartilage.
11th rib, yeah.
He's not on a DL, so he can be back in under 15 days. And based upon what happened yesterday, they better hope it's way less than under 15 days, because poor effort yesterday, and the lineup looks bad.
I don't understand the lineup. I mean, I don't know why they're so infatuated with Mercer, batting him second and Snyder fourth. I just don't understand it, and why, I just don't get it. But with McCutchen, I'm going to kind of disagree with you a little bit. I think that they should put him on the 15-day because if he comes back, he's sat out, I think, 2 games, including today. And it was 3 days, including yesterday, an off day. If he sits out another 2 games, and let's say he comes back next Tuesday, and with the way he swings, that violent swing of his, and he throws his body out there. I mean, he's not one of those, he's a player. He slides, he hits, he runs, he dives. If he aggravates that rib again, it's going to be worse. So if you're going to sit him now for 15 days. And Walker with the back, I don't know enough about that, but cartilage is funny, especially with the way he plays. and especially baseball. When you got that torque, I'd sit him. He's already been done 3 days. They're going to sit him for another 2 probably. You just got to. I don't know how many games they're going to have in those 10 days, but I would. I'd sit him.
He's a quick healer. I think what he needs to do. He's
I don't know how they know that, but well, if Hurdle said it, then it's true.
He's getting hit with a lot of baseballs. What I think they need to do, he needs to go back, look at some Barry Bonds tapes, go up with that whole
yeah, but he got hit here. What's he gonna do? Wear a bulletproof
that
vest?
whole armor on his arm. The ball comes, pull it back there. I think he needs to follow the Barry Bonds plan. When he was getting hit, he would put that body armor on and just go from there.
But that's like closing the door after the horse has left. He's already hurt. You know?
Yeah.
You like that? You like that?
Well, we'll see. But he's hurt. Neil Walker's having back issues. Pedro, he's on some kind of bereavement. But we're trying to figure out who he's bereaving over because I don't know.
Now, Marte's, I do not. Marte's mother-in-law passed a few weeks ago. They said he was on a bereavement for that. Alvarez, nobody knows anything. And I hope this isn't happening. I hope they're not slowly but surely just kind of sitting him on the bench and pushing him out because I still think, as I've said a ton of times, I still think he's a major talent. And look at the third basemen in baseball. How many really are you going to take? I mean, besides David Wright, and there's a few other guys. But if they work with him and work with him properly, so he said, we are working with him. Well, it's like running on a treadmill. You're doing a lot, but you're not getting anywhere. It's the same swing he's had since he's been up. And I still say he can be a perennial all-star with a higher batting average. I said 270 before. I'll shrink it to 265. He can still hit his 35 to 40 home runs, cut the strikeouts out. And then I think that would help him out in the field. God knows what's in his head. I just think that he can still be a top-notch player, but I don't know if it'll be here in Pittsburgh.
Talking about Pedro? How come we got the only player from the Dominican Republic that won't get on steroids?
He doesn't need them. There you go. Yeah, we just had that big bust. Now I guess there are going to be some more players, some names coming out. You know, I wonder who else is on this list. But speaking upon that, I have to say it, and I said it before, Hall of Fame, we have Tony La Russa. He's getting in. Bobby Cox, all these guys that coached all these guys who supposedly were on steroids or juiced up, but they can get in the Hall of Fame, but the players can't. I don't understand the double standard. You know, they're letting some guys in, some guys aren't getting in. I say let them all in or don't let anybody in.
Well, you're exactly right. That whole era, again, they call it the steroid era. And I don't, as much as things as I listen to it, or about the steroid era and that conversation, you're the only one that's mentioned that the managers are getting in, which is fine with me, okay? But when if player A, the hitter, was on steroids, going up against the pitcher B, the pitcher was on steroids too. So it was two guys on steroids going at each other, and it's still talent versus talent. So that whole era was bad. I mean, so either you let one guy in or you don't let anybody in. And the Hall of Fame is going to be without Pete Rose, Roger Clemens, Barry Bonds, Paul Merrow, and so I mean it's going to be without a lot of big name players. Although Paul Merrow, I never forget when he pointed at that camera, he said, "I did not take steroids." Damn, either he's dumb or he is telling the truth.
Academy Award. He should have got an award for
I'm telling you. But actually, either he's a stupid guy or he's he didn't do it, obviously.
Or he thought his guy wouldn't get caught, or he thought he could pass the test. I don't know how you
or keep a secret.
Test.
And write this down: 3 can keep a secret if 2 are dead. Another Italian saying.
Hey, real quick before we switch to something Jim knows about, which is football, and we can bring him back to the conversation. Gregory Polanco, he came up, he was really hot, he's kind of cooled off a little bit. Can we run some of his clips? But your thoughts on him? I mean, is it just a matter of he's still trying to get adjusted, or do you think
it's just
figured him
baseball?
out, or what?
No, it's just baseball. And he's going to figure them out too. He is a stud.
Yeah.
This guy has great extension. He's got great head discipline. He's got great ability. Leave him alone. He's going to be fine. It's just, baseball is, in my opinion, what do they say? If you fail 3 out of 10 times, if Roethlisberger completed 3 out of 10 passes, he'd be a bum. If you do anything 3 out of 10 times, 30%, you're not going to be very successful in life. In baseball, you're making $6 to $7 million a year. So it's a tough sport. It's a tough sport to succeed in. Polanco is a raw guy right now who's going to get only better, okay? And he's just going through a little slump. It's a long season, and it has peaks and valleys, and he's going to be just fine. That guy can play. Leave him alone. He'll be fine. And Marte has some holes in him, but hopefully they can fix them. And once they fix him, if they have the ability to fix him, because he's got the ability in him, that's a hell of an outfield, boy.
I'm still not giving up on Marte. He
No.
has some issues, some concussion issues, some injuries. His mother.
He's got all the ability in the world.
He'll be.
Hopefully
just
they
fine.
can fix him.
Yeah. And speaking of fixing, hopefully, as we move back to football again, the number to call 412-231-2288 as we run some more of our training camp clips. One position of need is the wide receiver position. Smoking Jim.
Why? Why is that a need? They're
Well, not
loaded.
are they loaded?
They're loaded. They got rid of them. They got rid of somebody who won't go over the middle. Emmanuel Sanders, although I agree with him that Peyton Manning is a better leader than Big Ben, but he's a better leader than anybody in the history of this league other than Ray
He knows
Lewis.
that in 2 weeks?
Other than Ray Lewis.
He knows that in 2 weeks?
Oh,
That
yeah,
sounds like
yeah.
that was a shot at
Everybody
Big Ben.
knows Peyton Manning is a
2
great
weeks.
leader.
2 weeks.
Don't
What,
you
he
know
caught-
Peyton Manning's a
he
great
caught about
leader?
10
Better
passes.
leader than Jeff George?
yeah. Other than Ray Lewis, there's never been a better leader in the National Football League.
Just
than
not in
Peyton
Super
Manning.
Bowls. He can
No,
lead all the way up
he's-
to that
he
point.
chokes in big games. Just
He
as
lead all the
Florida.
way up. He lead all the way up to the
You
to
can't
the,
spell
to the Super Bowl.
you can't spell citrus without UT.
Well, we'll see. I mean,
I had to think about that one for a second.
that was a good one, Smoking Jim. But now, when I say that, of course, you have Antonio Brown in the top
best in the
100.
league.
Well, I don't know about that. You're putting him in front of a whole lot of guys.
Better than Fitzgerald?
No. Better than Calvin Johnson? No.
Yeah, better than Kelvin
You know, well-
Johnson.
well,
and
obviously you didn't have a
and
vote.
Hamstring Johnson and
Obviously, you
Houston.
didn't have a vote on that top
He's
100.
not better than Fitzgerald, though.
He might not be the best in the division because Josh Gordon is there when he's
You
not.
saying there's 100 receivers better than him?
Oh, no, I'm saying
I'm talking about
top
receivers.
players.
I'm talking about receivers.
Well, you have Calvin Johnson. You have
He's
Josh.
better than Kelvin Johnson.
Well, Charles Johnson, sorry.
Huh?
He's better than
Kelvin,
Johnson?
yeah,
Calvin
from
in
Detroit.
Detroit?
Yeah, I would take Antonio over
Jim,
him.
I'm going to leave that alone. Come on, you're talking about one of the greats.
Bigger ain't always better.
He's the most unstoppable. He was number 2 when they rated the top overall players number 2.
I've seen some playoff games where he seemed to be stoppable, pretty stoppable.
When you get a quarterback like he does, he just
First
throws
round,
it up.
He got a first-round draft choice quarterback.
And I'll take Ben over him.
Oh yeah, me too.
At any time, Smoking Jim. Real quick, before we talk to some of our high school guests, I hear them coming in. Let's get this whole division under wraps. We got Andy Dalton, $116 million over 6 years, but I know
He's
it's
got a hell of an
broken
agent,
down.
doesn't he?
25 million over 2 years, and it's like pretty much, I guess, every year after that. But that seemed an awful lot to pay for a player. You don't know what's going to
The
happen.
red rifle.
Red Rifle. All right, fellas, it looks like we just had USO come in. Come in the front seat, fellas, and grab the mic. We're going to talk to him in 1 minute. So your thoughts as they get settled in?
I think he's got the best agent in sports to be able to get that kind of coin. I mean, he's a nice quarterback, but he's certainly not worth that kind of money, in my opinion. I mean, in the playoffs, he hasn't done well. And like they say, when he's good, he's good. When he's bad, he's worse than he is good.
Okay.
You know?
Well, when
If
you
that
got
makes
the
sense.
when you got the Oreo cookie in Cincinnati, Marvin Lewis, black on the outside, white on the inside, he's gonna give the money to the red rifle. Everybody in the league know that was a waste of money. $115 million for a guy that's 0-3 in the playoffs, but
They won't sign Tim Tebow.
But Marvin Lewis couldn't lead silent prayer.
We know your thoughts about Marvin Lewis, Smoking Jim. Hey, well, we have USO in the house. Thanks, fellas, for coming on. You have the mic, Ron. Why don't you tell the viewing audience your name, year, position?
Ronald Brown. I'm a senior, graduating this year.
Okay.
I'm a quarterback. Sorry.
All right.
Best in the state.
My name is Ashawn Banu. I'm a senior, a cornerback and a receiver.
Okay.
Darius Shields, sophomore, University Prep, anywhere on the field.
Okay.
Deidre Washington, senior, athlete.
Okay. We got who we got in the back?
I'm the evil genius, the offensive coordinator of Leroy Johnson.
Okay. All right.
Former outstanding great football player and great mind. Nobody runs a better offense than Johnson, definitely.
All right, hey, let's watch some of the clips. Can we run some of Ron Brown's highlights from last year?
Downtown.
Now, you guys, all right, this is from, I guess the playoff game. That was a tough game, fellas. Barely won that 8-0. Great season overall, 9-1. I know you ain't want to see that one, Roy, but you came back. Just talk about last year, 9-1, Ron.
It was kind of tough a little bit, getting used to the new schemes and new players and getting used to them just chemistry wise. But as the year was going on, we just kept clicking and we just got where we was. Tough loss in the state game. To me, I feel as though we got cheated, but it is what it is.
Okay. All right. Hey, let's jump to the phone lines real quick, and then we're gonna come right back with some highlights. Caller, say your name, where you're calling from.
Hey guys, this is Sean.
Hey, what's going
Hey,
on?
Sean.
Not much. I'm on the Kelly Russell work plan right now, work evening. So,
I feel you.
what have y'all been talking about today? And I understand y'all have some guests in there as well.
Hey, well, we've been hitting pretty much everything. We have USO, some players, coaches in the house with us right now. So, pretty much it's open talk.
Okay. Pirates looks like they may be done. Injuries are throwing them in right now.
Having a hard time
Yeah,
hearing
would you
you,
say, Sean?
Can y'all hear me now?
No.
You're fading almost like Perry's championships.
Can you hear me now?
Or Gateway's chances at Heinz Field.
Can you hear me right now?
Yeah, go ahead, Sean. We hear you a little better now.
Better.
Sorry about that. The Pirates, it looks like they're done.
Yeah.
The injuries are catching up to them.
Yeah, Smoker Jim Fowley got his wish. They were in it for a while. In fact, they still may be in it.
You know what though, Sean? It appears that way, but to be honest with you, I don't think the division is that strong. There's no real dominant team that is going to run away with it, be it division leader or wild card. So, you know what? Even though things aren't looking that great right now, I don't think it's over. Because you tell me. I know you're a baseball fan. Who do you think is this dominant that's just going to run away with the division?
Sean, what Claudio's trying to say is it's football season and nobody cares about baseball right now.
No. Claudio's right. He's right that nobody's running away with it. It's just that even though nobody's running away from it, I just don't see the Pirates doing anything. We got to see how McCutcheon's injury is. If McCutcheon has to miss 3 weeks, I think they're done.
Oh, yeah. If he has to miss 3 weeks, I agree. And then Cole is getting hammered in the rehab, so he's not doing good. So, everything kind of hit bad at the wrong time for them. But again, the one saving grace is that there's nobody that dominant in the league. So
I have a question for you.
Okay.
In regards to Neil Walker, do you think he's purposely taking himself out the games right now because of his contract situation? He's trying to preserve his body.
Well, you know what? I would be shocked if he did that. I don't think so.
No.
What was the guy's name? Derek Bell, Operation Shutdown. Remember that?
No.
He would, no. I don't think Walker's doing that. I think he's probably upset. But really, if he did that and word got around, he'd be finished for his next contract. He's kind of known as a blue-collar guy, whatever, and that would kind of screw him up for his next contract. And I think he went. And if he's hurt and he's not playing a lot, the next contract, be it the Pirates or whoever, is going to say, well, you know what? In 2014, you had that back issue, and they will use it against them. So if I had to guess, Sean, I would say that he wants to get back as soon as possible, because if not, they're going to say, hey, this back injury is too important, and we're not going to give you X amount of dollars. So I don't think that's the case.
Yeah. He just can't stay healthy these last 2 years, man. Hey, Sean, you have a question for USO City League football?
Yeah, is Coach Beery in?
Coach Johnson, the offensive coordinator.
Okay, well, question for Coach Johnson. Looks like people are favoring Alderdyke to win City. What is your take on the City League as a whole this season, and how will your team look?
as a whole, I see the City League being pretty competitive. It won't be. I don't think it'll be the flat-out runaway that we had last year, except for the hiccup against Perry in the playoffs. But it won't be that kind of runaway. I think it'll be a lot more competitive. I know Oderdice will be a good team. I know Perry, that coach over there, is going to do a great job. Bashir's always coached up very well, so I'm never going to count them out. But to answer your question, as far as Oderdice being the favorite, I mean, that's fine. Like I told a reporter from the Tribune that we've never been picked in our entire existence to win the City League championship, and I don't want anyone to start now. So please don't pick us. We don't want to be your favorites. We'll just keep continuing to be underneath the radar.
On the field.
You know, we're the only program. I mean, if you look at it in a long time now, 3 years, 3 championships. So, you know, I don't want to be picked. We'll just keep being underneath the radar and keep winning championships. So,
Did they ever pick you any of those 3 championships?
Yeah.
I think 2 out of the
y'all was
3.
favored at least.
Yeah, I think 2 out of the 3. Definitely the district one we wasn't. We weren't.
It's always
picked
good
to
to come from behind and sneak
Yeah,
up.
that's why I said I don't mind people not at all.
Well,
don't
y'all got a
pick us.
target squarely on your back in the
Well,
after
not-
dominating the last 3. So.
Yeah, you might be right now, but Oderdice they should be number 1. You know, they got that really good quarterback. So, you know, ours is average.
There you go. hey, Sean, what do you think about your player? You got players you all want to answer? Jump in on that. Come on, Ron, jump in on that. They said Oderdice, the team y'all beat, is going to take the championship.
I mean, there has been a lot of like trash talking and stuff about who's going to win and who's going to beat who, but overall, I mean, we USO, like it's a privilege to play against us. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Ooh, okay.
That's all I gotta say.
All right. Somebody else is jumping in. Okay.
See you on that field.
See
Week
you.
5, week 6, see you on that field.
Okay. All right. Hey, Sean.
Hey, I got one more quick question.
Okay.
What is y'all take on a new setup for college football playoff system?
You guys want to talk about the 4 teams coach?
I think it's good for the game. Either way, college football is going to make their money. So, you know, I definitely understand the 4-team playoff. You know, all it is just getting an extra game in, you know, extra 2 games for them. So I think it's going to be good. It's about time that they settle it on the field. I think everybody who goes, especially SEC, ACC, you go undefeated there. I mean, you deserve an opportunity to prove yourself on the field versus another team. And I think a lot of the whole conversation of who's the best will be silenced. Of course, you'll have your naysayers and people who pick out the system, but that's just anywhere.
You have a pick, coach?
Huh?
You have a pick who you think might come out on top?
I can't go against Florida State. I
Okay.
can't do it. I'm a big Florida State fan.
Florida State is loaded.
I think their toughness, you know, just how they've always been, tradition. Jameis Winston coming back, you know, I know they'll have to replace a lot on that defense, so that's going to be a huge problem.
Hey, Sean, Pitt'll be home for Christmas.
Well, it looked like one of the Clearton boys can't play this year. I wonder what he did.
Yeah. He's suspended for the whole year, so, you know. It looked like he was going to have that start in the cornerback position. Yeah.
Well, the 8th wonder of the world is how all them Clearton players was eligible through all them championships.
Smoking Jim, just because Clareton players are making plays on a college level, and we're still waiting for Gateway to show up on the field, don't get mad. All right? Hey, Sean, thanks for the call.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Sean.
Thanks, Cass.
All right, hey, let's stay on the phone. Last caller, say your name, where you're calling from.
This is LD from Point Break.
LD!
I always wanted to do that.
What's going on, LD?
Just want to say to the USO players and their coach, if you want an automatic victory, just play Gateway.
hey, LD, don't scare them now. You know Gateway AAA now, so already they staying up late at night thinking about that.
Oh, man, go ahead. Gateway's running away from competition because they can't win in Quad A, huh, Jim?
We, as a program, I tell you what, to even kind of piggyback off that, we all the time. We are constantly blowing up everybody around here's phone and emails about trying to schedule games. We do not get any calls back.
Right.
And I don't know if people are a little intimidated or, I don't know what they think.
Have you ever called the football powerhouse of Gateway?
Yeah, we have. We've called, emailed.
Gateway's running. They're running from Quad A. They're running from the USO. They're just running. Except they're in Heinz Field.
I'm not going. I don't know, what happens, but just with, we try to schedule as many. We would love to play anybody. I love to play Jeanette and Aliquippa, everybody. I mean, we're not running from anybody. If we get our butt tapped, we get our butt tapped. But we don't plan on it happening anytime soon. But it could happen. We know we're not running. So I beg and plead that someone gets an opportunity. I know with their schedules now, everybody's pretty much booked up. But we would love to have an opportunity to get on a Friday night showcase and really show what our team is about, because we feel as though we don't get the kind of respect that, a team, that some of them get. We kind of get swept underneath the rug. All of our accomplishments get swept underneath the rug because no one wants to pay attention to us. So it's okay, though.
Okay. LD, you got another question?
Yeah, just the City League, they usually don't do very well in the state playoffs. I just want to ask them, what do they have to do to maybe win one or two games in the state playoffs?
Well, a lot of us, to tell you the truth, to be honest with the system, a lot of us, we play up when we should be playing down. A lot of us, we should be in the 2A. They have us play 3. We're a size of a 2A. But as far as the system right now, I don't think it's set up for us to really succeed that well, just to be honest. I mean, I welcome anybody to come up to our field and watch us practice. We don't have a lot of equipment that you need. We don't have lights for night practices. There's no place to go for if it rains. It's tough to get practices done, so we do the best that we can. In our program, and luckily we have very good coaching. We're top to bottom, really good coaching. So we've actually had some success. We're probably one of the few teams right now who actually have a winning record in state playoffs right now. So we've done pretty well. Like I said, we won a district championship 2 years ago. Last year we got kind of robbed. In Jalen Coleman's year, we lost on a field goal. So, I mean, we're really competitive as far as when it comes to states. But to answer your question, some of us play up a little bit higher than what I think they should be. So that's part of the problem as well.
Hey, LD, don't forget, this year is the 25th anniversary of the Perry team that won the state championship. I think this team can do it as well. Anybody that beats this team has to score 50 points or more, because they can light up the scoreboard, brother.
All right, let's get some of the players to jump in. Ron, guys, what are your thoughts about, last year lost a tough one, Somerset 28-20. I know that still hurts to even hear that. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, like Coach said, we got robbed, but as you can see, we never quit. We were down in the first 2 quarters, what was it, 14-0 or 20-something nothing or something like that. But either way, we still came back, made it a 1 touchdown game. Got robbed from a couple touchdowns. I think we could have won it, but yeah.
Who said phantom whistle?
But yeah, this year it ain't gonna work like that. We're gonna win flags, anything. It doesn't even matter. We're still gonna win. We're gonna come out on top.
Okay. Who else want to jump in?
Well, I'll speak on them. I don't think they wasn't I don't know. I can't explain it how I want to, but.
Okay. All right, we also had Dorian Johnson come in. Hey, LD, you got another question real quick?
Yeah, this has to do with the Pirates. I think they should have traded for Price. They need a stopper on their staff. They don't have a stopper.
Obviously they should have gone after him or Lester, and I wonder how serious they were really going after those guys. Those guys are some big salaries, and the Pirates aren't known for going after big salaries. But I agree with you. If they'd have gotten one of those guys, and I think they could afford him, that would have really turned things around. They could have afforded McCutcheon being hurt a little bit and so on and so forth. But I didn't think they were. And I don't think I don't think Detroit really traded a whole lot to get him. So
No, they didn't.
It's over for the Pirates, LD.
Hey, LD, thanks for the call.
Thanks, LD.
Thank you.
All right, hey, let's stay on the phone lines. Caller, say your name, where you're calling from.
Man, this is Kelly Russell calling.
Hey, Kelly.
What's up, Kelly?
Hey, Smoking Jim Frazier, there is just so much I have to say to you right now. But out of respect for our high school guests, I want to leave you alone.
What's on your mind, Kel? Kel?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm trying to compose myself.
Oh, okay, dang. That was a long compose, man. I thought we lost you for a minute with so long.
Taking a
You
deep
got that
breath.
cricket again.
Let's just go there. Let's go there. Smoking Jim, why is Marvin Lewis an Oreo cookie?
Well, because he's black on the outside and white on the inside. You ever hear an interview with him?
So are you trying to tell me that black people can't speak?
Well, I know Marvin Lewis personally, and you're stretching the word black when you put it in terms of Marvin Lewis.
Ah.
That's like
that
saying
right
Michael
there-
Strahan's black. He ain't been black since he left Texas Southern.
Yeah.
Dang, Jim. That's why we put a disclaimer out on Jim. Because of statements like that. But go ahead, carry on, Kel.
Smoking, we can agree to disagree on many a thing, but you're still my man.
Thank you, sir.
I'll just
You
say
got a
that
beautiful
right
daughter,
there-
too, I wanted to tell you, man. Great job, Kelly.
Kel, what
Thank
else
you,
is on
thank
your
you.
mind, man? Because for Jim
All
take us
right.
way out
I actually
somewhere
wanted to
where
ask,
we don't even need to be
USO
right
some
now.
questions they kind of tackled already, because one of the things I'll always remember is that run that they had a couple of years ago in the TIAA playoffs, winning the district. And the coach kind of tackled on it a little bit. But my question is, what can y'all do? Because are y'all still AAA coach?
Yes, we are.
Yes, you are, coach. So let's hypothetically, if it was to be a rematch of you and Alderdice, you guys will both advance into the state playoffs, regardless of who wins if they're still quad A.
Correct.
What can you guys do to make a further run into the TIAA playoffs?
One of our big things that we're stressing this year is the development of the running game. We want to be able to run the ball a little bit more effectively than we were able to last year. Last year, Somerset, they came to 5 of our games, so they better have had a pretty good game plan. But
They was at the game we were at.
yeah, they were at pretty much all of them. But we've addressed the issue. I've watched that game about 3,000 times now. Pains me to my stomach that we weren't able to run the ball on a 3-man front, dropping linebackers 10 yards deep. They had a very good nose guard who really just controlled the game. He really kind of killed us. I remember calling a run play for a running back, and I'm thinking we should be gone 13, 14 yards down the field, and we pick up 2 yards. And I was like, well, scrap the running game. We'll just go throw it 60 times. And that's one of our issues as a coach that I kind of got to address with our team is becoming better running the ball. We just got to be better at running the ball. I think if we get better at running the ball, we're going to be a tougher team to beat. Just in case we run up across a team who wants to try to drop everybody back, that we can pick up 6, 7, 8 yards on the team and be more balanced. And our balance is a little different from most people's balance around here. Our balance, we consist our balance of like plus 70 yards rushing. And we use our bubble screens, and I consider hitches throws as a part of our run game too. So we use a lot of different ways to be able to run the ball to get our speed and space. So I think that's the big thing. And on defensively, to speak with the defensive coaches, I know they want to be able to cause more turnovers. We really don't get worried about how many yards you get. We just want to get the ball back, and that's our big thing.
Hey, Kelly, I'm going on record right now. This team can beat every AAA team in the state but Gateway.
Oh, man. Go ahead, Jim.
You know something? I would really love to see that game, just to see Gateway get smacked in the mouth.
Gateway gonna have their hands full in the division they in.
Right.
Please
Be lucky if they get out of that
That's not even
division.
getting to that. I got the whole preview for you of this high school thing. And for real, if y'all really knew who was in this studio today, I think that we have more people calling in because we don't have the #1 quarterback in the whip you. You got the #1 quarterback in Western
I agree.
Pennsylvania sitting in here right now.
Best I ever seen.
And see, what I want to tell y'all is it's about numbers. It's a numbers game. And that's why the city schools get put in a bad position when it comes to state playoffs because of the numbers game. And what Coach was sitting here talking about the things and stuff that they need, it's a numbers game. So let me just tell y'all that some of that stuff was offered to the district, and the district turned it down. Some of the stuff was offered to the district for free, and they turned it down. So let me see, why can't we have a rating system in the city where you would rank the #1 guy, the #2 guy? It makes it easier for me, a national scout, to come to your city and look at that list and go check those guys out.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? If a program is a winning program, it should be allowed to be able to attract the things that winning programs attract. And sometimes that's sponsorship dollars. There's nothing wrong with the neighborhood stores in the community that support the dual high school that this is. You know what I mean? To get behind that school and give money to the organization, build a field or what have you, and let that trickle down to the little league program.
Right.
Because what it is supposed to be brotherhood, but the brotherhood get caught up in the numbers. So at the end of the day, when they go to the playoffs, they're going to put them at AAA when they should be playing AA,
Right.
or even single. Because if you match them up with Clearton, then is they looking the same? I think so. When you match up body type and size, you match up ability, I think so. And I travel this thing. This is what I do for a living. So when you look at Alderdice, they got to go quad. They got to go quad because the numbers of boys in the school. So do coach got to show up with a list of names of boys in his school to be able to get a qualified game for his boys? And then at the same time, will they honor it and do it? Because now you're getting into the PIAA and the WIPIO playoffs, the state situation. You know what I mean? Where everything should be accountable the same way. You know what I mean? I just think that more focus should be put on the city schools and their programs, and you'll get more attention. Period.
I agree. And that was Dorian Johnson, Pittsburgh's Legends Club. You know, a good friend of the show. You know, hopefully next year we'll be doing that. Doing the city WIPIO game.
You know what?
So that's the plan.
That's the plan to get it done this season at the end of the season.
There you go.
What we're going to do is
you want to play the WIPIO with the city?
Yes, we want to do. We want that all-star game, Dad. We want the truth to come out. You know what I want? I want our lost brothers that are astray to come home. I want the boys that's up Gateway, that live in Homewood, to go home. I want the boys that's over at Woodland Hills to stop traveling so far and go home. You know what I'm saying? Why does Wilkinsburg program have to suffer?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We can sit here. I can sit here and pull the tissue out.
They still play football?
Oh my goodness, good Lord! And you know, I mean, and I love. Hey, check this out. Check this out. This is a coach right here. I don't think this coach, and I'm not gonna say no name, but I don't think this coach that will have a son will allow his son to go play at another school, and while he head coach a football team. That says a lot about your program. You know what I'm saying? That says a lot about your program. Now what I'm saying is if you support your program, you support your program. You support the young men in your program. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And there's guys out there that I call and I go see and I offer free things for them. Like I'll come through and do a combine at your high school. Get your 40 time everything that the kids need to go to the next level.
Right.
When the coaches come, when I go to a room like that coach right there in baseball, I'm not even gonna talk football. We're gonna talk baseball. Sometimes that guy goes in the room and just asks a question on numbers, because then that's gonna get him familiar. If I want to get familiar with this athlete and this program, just from some numbers.
Right.
You know what I mean? What's your 60 time, bro? How fast it would take from you to get from home to first?
How you doing? That's good, man. Let's jump to these phone calls real quick. Caller, say your name, where you're calling from.
Actually, you never hung up from me. So
Oh, Kel, my fault, man.
Hey, Kel.
Dorian took the mic and was going off. So.
My bad, Kel.
Hey, Kel, thanks for the call, man. We have like 3
See you,
calls.
Kelly.
y'all go ahead, fellas. Hey, Claudia, always looking good, bro.
Thank you, brother.
What about the rest of us? All right,
We
Kel.
agree on everything, me and Kelly.
Hey, caller, say your name, where you calling from. So call on the air.
Hi, this is JD, and I'm from Penn Hills.
All right, what's on your mind, JD?
First, I just wanted to say I think the Steelers will be 9-7 and make the playoffs.
Okay. Playoffs sound good. What else is on your mind? You have a question for some of the players here?
I wanted to ask, how do you think blood will do for the Steelers?
What'd you say?
how do you think Blunt will do for the Steelers?
Oh, LeGarrette Blunt.
I think he'll get kicked out of 4 games for fighting.
Fellas, you want to jump in? Any Steeler fans over there?
I heard he was doing well.
Well,
From a little insight that I heard, young buck, I heard he was doing really well. He was producing. From what I hear from the guys on the inside, I heard there was a blitz pickup pair and he knocked somebody named 94 completely timid. He picked him up real well. That's just what I heard. So
okay, we had a running back. I thought you said you wanted to jump in on that.
Well, I think that LeGarrette Blunt and Le'Veon Bell duo is going to be running all over teams this year for the Steelers.
Okay, all right. Hey, JD, any other questions?
My last question is, how many interceptions do you think Big Ben will have?
Who?
I think he said
Oh, Big Ben. Oh. Well, we'll give it to the quarterback on that one. This might be the best year
That'll
in a
matter.
while. That he,
I wouldn't be able to say on that one. He had a rough year last year for real. Not that bad, but it was all right. So I don't know. I would say about about 7.
Okay.
At least. Though,
I thought he
at
said how
least.
many interceptions was Ike Taylor going to get.
We know that's 0. Hey, JD, thanks for the call. We have some more calls we have to get to. All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks for the call. Hey, caller, say your name, where you're calling from.
Ron Brown.
Mr. Brown.
Oh, the original. Well, I think I know what your question's going to be, but go ahead anyway.
I got a couple questions for Mr. Brown there, number 7. For this season, this upcoming season, what are your goals and accomplishments for this season?
Well,
And also, hold on, and also, look like you gained a little weight. You been lifting or something?
well, you know I've been in the weight room. You know that ain't, every day. But my goals and accomplishments, I would like to throw for 4,000 yards again.
Woo!
Of course, but the way our team's looking, we're young, so we still got to develop and, chemistry-wise and everything. So we got to get that right first, and then I'll be able to, do what I do. And, from there, we'll take it from there. Maybe I'll throw for more.
Now, last year, that was the most ever in southwestern Pennsylvania history, right?
That's right.
Yes,
Wow.
There's the trophy, something, a presentation.
You know what I mean?
I think a lot of people don't realize that.
Man. And look, and see, the thing is.
Hold on, Dorian. Hey, we
gotta get Dorian.
We gotta get Dorian. Yeah, Dorian, you need your own.
Claudio, give me
I'm gonna
that
get the one off the stand, and he gonna go. Hey, while we're doing this, can we run some of Ron Brown's clips, throwing touchdowns? But keep going on that. I mean, you set a record. I don't think you got all the recognition you should have. Talk about what you've been working on. I know you've been in the weight room, and you could always tell when somebody got the sleeves way up over the bicep to show they've been in the weight room.
Well, as you can see, I ain't put that there. That's how it's sitting. But yeah, been in the weight room. I'm trying to work on, running the ball a little bit more. Getting out of the pocket. Try to run a couple people over.
Okay.
As he said, get the running game going. Try to help with that a little bit.
Okay.
And a lot of my receivers left because they were mostly seniors. So again, we gotta get used to the receivers coming in. New sophomores and freshmen.
So how many? So you guys lost a lot, right? So you're gonna be working with young receivers.
Yeah.
Okay. How about the offensive line?
Great. Same line as you can see in the clips. Same 5, hardcore. Didn't get touches much. Kevin Wilson. Williams. Sorry.
Kevin Williams. Okay. And we see last year you set the Whippeal City League state passing record, did all kinds of things. This year, as you're on that same thing, hopefully you have the same type of success. We got to get you out there, so the colleges recognize that the local media needs to do more, man.
Yeah. The local media did, but nobody, it's in black and white. You can Google it.
Yeah.
It's in black and white. You can Google it. You know what I mean? The Post-Gazette, they print the sports stats every year. You know what I mean? And at
All
the
I
end
hear
of
about is South Fayette's quarterback.
at the end,
That's all I hear.
I mean, you heard about Brimbaugh. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we can say the name. Like, I mean, everybody say the name. Like, see, the thing about it is, what these young men is trying to do is they trying to get the Beyonce effect. They want you to say their name, and a lot of people should be saying that young man's name. You know what I mean? His name should be in the conversation. You know what I mean? Like, it shouldn't be in the conversation because of the 3 or 4 receivers that just left, they were seniors.
And that's what happened to the receiver last year. He should have been at Pitt or Penn State.
Do you think that the school should help out? Like, for example, in college, the Heisman, you know, you have your sports information director, just blasts PR everywhere.
It should be the person that gets paid in that position to do that job. And I'm not going to say no names because I try to deal with him on a regular basis. And I try to, you know, bring something to the table, and I'm going to continue to do that. But the clock is ticking. The clock's ticking. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got paperwork to show that the things that are being offered to these young men and are being denied. You know what I mean? Student-athlete liaison service, where you're continuing making sure that their paperwork and everything is in order so that, like, going into his senior year, all he got to do is say yay or nay. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's being courted. He's not courting nobody. You know what I mean? And he should be rewarded for the work that he do. Then these young men, look at how disciplined they are sitting here, man.
You know, as a matter of fact, before the time is ticking, man, I got to get all you guys, again, say your position, what you hope to accomplish this year. I know it's a championship. We have 2 mics out there now, but again, man, it's been a while since you've been on the mics. Tell the viewing audience your name and position and what you hope to accomplish this year.
My name is Dejor Washington.
Okay.
I'm a senior, and I'm an athlete. I'm pretty much, you know, play everything. Like, you tell me to go somewhere, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to try my best, and I'm going to kill.
Okay, so we want to see you.
Yeah.
Running back, receiver, slot, whatever.
My accomplishments for this season is to help lead this team to another championship and to, state.
Okay,
Definitely
there you
want to
go.
get that state.
That's what I want. That's what I want to see.
And just to withhold UPrep's reputation.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
My name is Darius Shields, sophomore, University Prep. My goals is to lead this team into city championship, state championship, have my man right here pass over 4,000 yards and plus.
That boy's only a sophomore. He's going to be a beast. He's going to be a beast, I can tell.
Let me say one more thing to him.
Oh, what'd you say?
Let me say one more thing to the teams and the coaches.
Okay, real quick. We got 1 minute.
Just remember this. If you always ready, you never have to get ready. Let's get it, USO.
Okay. I like that. Real quick, we only got about 30 seconds left. Give us one more thing, Roy.
Ron Brown, quarterback, USO. Trying, make it back to the city. Well, not city, the championship, even go further, states, for the kids out there, stay in school, just keep playing, play hard.
Okay, real quick, 10 seconds.
My name is Deshaun Benu. I'm a receiver and corner, and I help make big plays this year.
Okay. Hey, time ran out on us, USO. Make sure you all check them out. Roy Brown, the all-time Whippeal City single-season passing record. Go check them out. Check out USO. Check out City League football. I'm Luther Dupree, Smoking Jim, Claudia. We'll check her out next time. Check the website, scsportsworld.com. Peace. We ran out.
Good job, fellas. That was quick.